Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us once again for MedCom Benefit Solutions desktop discussion. This is Casey Hope, Marketing Manager at MedCom Benefit Solutions, and I am joined today, as always, by Michelle Barkey, our Senior Legal Counsel. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning, Casey. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys all for joining us. We hope you were able to have a holiday weekend and that it was wonderful and that you were able to spend some much needed time to relax and recuperate from what has been a crazy and hectic few months. And unbelievably, we are moving into the last week of May, heading in to the second half of the year. It seems crazy. I was talking with my team this morning about how fast the last couple of months have gone by with everything that's going on. So thank you for joining us each Tuesday and for looking to MedCom to help answer some of these tough questions. Michelle, if you are ready, I will go ahead and get started with today's desktop discussion questions.
Go ahead, Casey. Let's get started.
All right, sounds good. If an employee stops their FSA and has unused funds that they want refunded, how do we go about refunding that employee money?
You know, Casey, there's been a lot of changes to what we can do with an FSA, but the refunding of money has not been anything that has been discussed with the IRS. So there is no real way to refund the money to individuals at this time when their FSA is unused. The plan is allowed, although it's not mandatory, and it would take a change in plan document to either allow for a change in election. For an example, the election amount could be changed to just be the amount that they've already contributed, or however the plan wants to do that. But the balance that is unspent when an employee terminates, if it is underspent, that means that he has contributed more than he's actually spent, then he is entitled to COBRA. Otherwise, if he doesn't elect COBRA or if the account is overspent, then the monies that are left over would revert back to the plan to be used for the plan and all the participants of the plan. So in other words, it would have to be used to either use administration fees for the use of the monies that was not, or it would have to be that they reimburse all participants of the plan, all the monies that is received. But there is no way really to give an individual back the money. However, if you're a non-calendar year plan, you can allow him to spend the money up until December 31st. That's provided he's not a terminated employee. But you could allow him to spend the money up until December 31st. But there's no real way to just say, here's the money back.
I gotcha. Thank you, Michelle. We have an employee who is contributing to the Dependent Care FSA. His child's camp was canceled and most of his DCA money goes towards tuition. He's asking if he doesn't have another paid childcare, what happens to the amount he's already contributed or will contribute through payroll deductions? Is there a way to give it back to him? And can this be done on a case-by-case, employee-by-employee basis?
And again, there was nothing really that said that you can go back and give the money back to him. However, they can, if the plan allows, they can start contributing at this time. And they can also, if the plan allows, use the funds that they already have incurred up until December 31st. So there are ways still for him to potentially use those child care dollars. But at this stage of the game, there's no way that you can actually just hand the money back to him.
Got it. Can employees enroll in the dependent care mid-plan year if they are now able to sign their child up for summer camps? We're under the impression that if you were already enrolled and there is a change in dependent care cost or in the need for care, you can change your election. However, is the ability to now sign your child up for summer camp a qualifying event to enroll?
That is a really good question, and it's not really a qualifying event to enroll. However, as always with the coronavirus, the IRS does allow us a vehicle for that. Under the IRS Notice 220-29, the plan can now allow participants to enroll in a DCAP plan mid-year, just as they are allowing for participants to enroll mid-year in an FSA. The plan would have to decide and to make a plan amendment that this is something that they would allow. This is what 20-29, the IRS notice, actually is stated. It said, to assist with the nation's response to the 2019 coronavirus outbreak, COVID-19, this notice provides for increased flexibility with respect to mid-year elections under Section 125 cafeteria plan during the 2020 as it relates to employer-sponsored health coverage. And they also said this was like a health flexible spending arrangement and dependent care assistance program. This included that you could revoke an election, make a new election, or decrease or increase an existing election regarding a dependent care assistance program on a prospective basis. They realized that needs would change, potentially you would have a greater need or lesser need, and the IRS was trying to accommodate that. So this would be done under Notice 20-29.
Excellent, thank you. Do the COBRA extension regulations apply to ERISA groups and non-ERISA, or can non-ERISA employers terminate COBRA coverage for non-payment, keep the 60-day enrollment and the 45-day pay COBRA rules?
And this is under the outbreak rule where it's specific to the ERISA plans. However, the Department of Health and Human Services had come back and they had also said that they would like to adopt these rules as well under the Public Health Safety Act. So they are strongly encouraging the states to adopt the same rules as ERISA plans for the outbreak period. Therefore, states could follow the regular COBRA rules, or they could actually go to the outbreak rule and would not be penalized for doing so. Actually, it's encouraged that they do so. So at this time, things are fluid and may change, but they could, as far as I can see, they could keep it to the 60 and 45-day COBRA rules. But again, this is very fluid, and we'd have to check the individual states to see what they are doing.
That makes sense. My client offers a calendar year FSA, January through December, for medical and dependent care. The medical FSA has a 90-day extension run out to March 31st. They have a question as to whether the extended run out period pertains to them or not.
It actually did pertain to them, as long as they are an ERISA group plan. The period between March 1st through 60 days past the end of the national disaster is actually paused. And then the run-out period that is remaining, the 31 days that they had in March, would continue and would be picked up at the end of this run-out period. So if they had any additional receipts that they needed to submit for the 2019 plan year, they could do so after the end of the outbreak period for a period of 31 days. The reason for this change that was provided to us by the grace of the Department of Labor and the IRS was that they did recognize that individuals may not have the ability to provide receipts if they don't have scanners on their computers or they don't have a manner to upload. And even with some of the offices being closed, the physician's offices, dental offices, they may not be able to get their substantiation. So they did give that extra time during the outbreak period in which to get it. And unfortunately, because they had a 90-day, or fortunately, because they had a 90-day run out, that additional 31 days would be tacked on at the end of the outbreak period.
Thank you, Michelle. That was our short, we had a very short list of questions today. So that rounds us out for today's desktop discussion. Unless anyone who is attending has anything they would like to add or have an additional question, feel free to go ahead and send that via the chat feature on the call. If not, we will be here next week at the same time, same place. Feel free to send any of your questions that you may have to COVID-19 questions@medcombenefits.com. As always, we will be sending out the complete question and answer list and the recording of this call today. I'll send that out later this afternoon. And if you guys have any other needs, if you have anything else that questions that you have for MedCom or for Michelle, please feel free to send those over to us. That's what we're here for. We appreciate you attending today. Thank you so much for your time. And Michelle, thank you so much for once again answering these questions and taking the time to kind of research this for us.
Thank you, Casey.
All right, everyone, have a wonderful week.